We're joined now by the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, Olga Stefanishyna. Welcome to Face the Nation.
Welcome, Margaret. Hello.
I understand this is a very intense week for your country for a number of reasons, including the diplomacy that's happening right now as we sit here in Geneva. Your president said Ukraine faces a choice between losing its dignity or losing a key ally, the United States. What has been agreed to at this point?
Well, as it is known, the consultations are still ongoing between Ukraine and the American officials. This is Secretary of State Rubio and also Secretary of Army Driscoll, who arrived a little bit earlier. These consultations are still continuing on the basis of the proposal of the American side on 28-point peace plan, as it's been called here. European allies are also present in Geneva these days to work hand in hand with the Ukrainian delegation, but also with the American delegation to discuss the proposals on our and on their side. So the consultations are still ongoing, but there has been a number of points which have been already widely discussed in public.
Are you aware of Russia making any concessions at this point?
Well, it is not seen this way from the proposal which is on the table. In fact, none of the points are actually related to forcing anything on the Russian side. Of course, it's recognized that it is aggression. There is a number of points related to return of hostages and prisoners of war of a humanitarian nation. But this is definitely not about the justice. This plan is not about the justice and the truth of this war and the aggression. It's about, ending the war and stopping the military engagements.
It's unfair to Ukraine, you're saying?
Well, again, I think this should be divided. This plan is not about justice, and this plan is about a number of actions proposed as part of estimated agreement between Ukraine and potentially Russian Federation. Ukraine is in intensive engagement in a very constructive way with the American side, and under the umbrella of U.S. leadership, these discussions are ongoing, and we believe that the fair peace is not the words, but this is something that should be put on a paper. So, yes. Have
you been told that the United States will cut off military and intelligence sharing if President Zelensky doesn't agree to this plan by Thursday?
I think it's totally unfair to American colleagues and partners to quote these or that statements which were done in course of various meetings and phone calls. There was quite a few. We had a first senior military visit to Ukraine by Secretary of Army Driscoll since we gained the independence in 1991, and I had a meeting with him as well here in Washington, and his role is extremely clear to us. We also had an engagement between President and Vice President on a phone call. There was a lot of discussions. Some of them were more emotional, some were less emotional. But here we are sitting together and looking for a solution to end the war. And Russia is not part of this process formally.
Well, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that in addition to those 28 points, there's a separate document that has to do with security guarantees. I have also been told that there's a separate document with security guarantees.
Yes.
The Journal's reporting that it's 10 years of support, but it doesn't commit the U.S. to provide direct military assistance. What guarantees do you want from the United States?
Well, there is a separate document called the framework of the security assurances from the United States. So this is not the agreement. This is not the treaty. This is not the formal or detailed layout of what security guarantees is. That is the document specifying the intention that U.S. government is committed to providing security assurances, which are something like the Article 5 of the Washington NATO Treaty. So it's still very different, and it specifies, it's been in a public access, so it's been publicly leaked as well. So that U.S. will stand up together with the allies in case of the Russian aggression from the territory of the Russian Federation. I think we should now forget that the Russian aggression started in fact, from Belarusian territory. So there are a lot of nuances, and this is to be discussed.
Oh, I see. So you're saying you want a clear security guarantee that says if you're invaded or if you're attacked, including by surrounding countries that are Russian proxies, you want America to say that it will come to Ukraine's
defense?
Yeah,
absolutely. We can really speak about security assurances where we have the real document in front of our eyes. And what is really important that we are a very complicated partner for U.S. because we also had a lot of different sad experiences, like Budapest Memorandum, where we gave up nuclear weapons, that we had another of different situations where we have learned our lessons. And we faced the aggression for 3.5 years, and we learned.
I have to ask you, U.S. and European officials tell me that the trajectory on the battlefield for Ukraine is not good, particularly in that key industrial city of Pokrovsk. And that Russia will likely take control of this, and that this is sort of a gateway to the eastern part, the Donbass. How do you respond to the argument that Ukraine is losing on the battlefield and that you need to negotiate now?
Well, Ukraine is one of the largest European countries, and on a regular, within 1 week, there are more than 1,000 combat engagements happening on all the front line. And Russia is trying to present that it's only happening in Pokrovsk, right? So this is a victorious narrative Russia is using as a tactics of pressuring or changing the reality also here in the United States. That's why, Pokrovsk is a very important spot on the front line, but definitely not the only one.
Ambassador, thank you for your time this morning.